The fact that you put out the post on your Instagram, Sadia, about your hair saying, I grew up with the idea that the longer your hair, the prettier you are. Even as a white girl, for me, I went, oh, that's true. Like, that's such a crazy beauty ideal that we've expected women to commit to something for a really long time, or to commit to managing a really large amount of hair in order to almost tick that little box. And it's so much more political when you're black. And then you said the looser your curls, the prettier you are. And I've grown up with shorter hair and tighter curls. And the idea that an afro is unprofessional or messy. Now, a lot of these misconceptions are also reinforced in schools. And I think that uniformed schools have a lot of work to do around the conversations that we have with especially young girls in formative stages of their development around what is perceived to be neat, what is perceived to be aspirational when it comes to hair. And it's so powerful that you verbalize that and saying, once I started playing rugby, it was just easier to have my hair in braids because it was a quick fix, which gave me the excuse because it's easier for rugby. But I was actually feeding my insecurities over and over again. For you to say that and put it out loud in black and white on a platform somewhere, that's brave.
You're amazing. Yeah, because you look so embarrassed. It's that was me. Cool,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been like a long journey, and it's still like an ongoing thing. So I think to the public, I'm pretty confident anyway. So like to have to kind of invite you look in on yourself and realize you do have this insecurity is like a big thing to kind of realize. But yeah, I think it just kind of clicked this year, especially after having injury after injury. You look for things to try and make you feel a bit better, to make you feel a bit prettier or happier. And like my go-to thing was I need to have longer hair. I need to get my hair done. I need to make myself feel better. And I was like, why am I trying to do that? Like, I love braids. Like, I love having extensions, but I don't want it to be a crutch, like to make me feel better, make me feel like I can leave the house or go on Instagram or anything as simple as that. And I've also kind of realised no experience is kind of not universal somewhere. Like someone else has lived the same experience as you. So for me to be able to realise that was good. It was huge for myself, but I thought, why not, put it on the internet as well, because I know someone else is going through or has gone through that same thing.
We've had loads of conversations, haven't we? We have a little club room at Loughborough, and Sadia and I normally, we're not quite sat next to each other, but we're not too far away. And I was completely ignorant to the fact that short hair, afro, that the perception of that was a negative one until obviously I had this conversation. I think it was before you actually posted, because every time Sadia would come in with braids, I was always really curious. She does it herself, like crazy talent in itself. Would take hours. She'd be up to the early hours of the morning, which is insane. As an early to bed person, I could not comprehend. But nonetheless,
I can't do it. Yeah, I was seeing videos of that. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, it's like rugby.
Does she hate her arms?
I love my arms. It's amazing.
Turns out that's the hidden secret.
That's the secret. Is that how I go Bram? If I do my own brain.
That's it.
That is not my laziness.
But I also reflect on, like, obviously I played a lot of rugby with Maggie coming through, and she was always wore a scrum cap, all of those sorts of things. So I would just never have had that perception of it until we had that conversation and until you posted.
Yeah, I mean, like I've had conversations with other people as well, and it's like, you don't know until you know. Like, but I really enjoy having those conversations, like, because people sometimes say like, oh, I don't want you to feel like you're educating or whatever, but it's the saying that ignorance is bliss is true. Like, you don't know until you don't know. There's nothing wrong with that. And like, I grew up in an area where I went to school with all my friends who were black, who had the same experiences as me. So even in that, like, to kind of, when I was that age, I would assume everyone knew that. It wasn't until like I've joined rugby and I interact with people who I'd never meet on a day-to-day basis, which me and Scaz had this conversation. So I would never have met you outside of rugby. But if I did, we would get along. But otherwise, we would never meet. But
it was so funny. We reflected. It was like, we would never have come across each other. We have a lot in common, but without having a lot in common. Yeah. Our backgrounds are completely different. So much about us is completely opposite, basically, yet we get on really well, and we found this common kind of thread. Yeah, once she stopped side-eyeing me, we've actually found some really nice common ground, and I think are actually way more similar than we would have ever realised.
Sorry, you side-eyed Emily Scarra.
Guys,
Girl.
it's a habit. But yeah,
You got to
that's
get
the
through the
beauty.
side-eye.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of rugby as well. Like you get to get those new connections and have these new conversations with people who wouldn't have the chance to.
Now, talk to us about Afro hair being more prone to breakage in malls, because this is not a conversation that many white girls get the opportunity to listen in on and gain a better understanding of. Break it down, 101.
Well, yeah. So first of all, there's like a curly hair scale. So from 1A to 4C. So 1A, BC up to 3A, 3B, 3C. C being the tightest curls. And then same with 1 to 4. And basically, as you go up those levels, you're more prone to breakage due to how dry or low or high porosity your hair is, which is how, what's the word? How it can take on moisture.
Yeah, it's like how water retention.
How water, yeah.
Yeah.
So within that, you have how tight your hair is, and then also high or low porosity your hair is. I have low, which is doesn't retain moisture.
Yeah. To like C.
Yeah, and I have 4B, 4C, so really tight curls.
Wow, yeah.
So not the best combination for a sport where you're constantly rubbing, because when something's dry, it's more likely to break. And then especially with being forward and stuff in those malls and scrums, it's just more prone to that. And I think especially as a girl, I think even just people who don't have Afro hair, a lot of girls play rugby and get their hair probably ripped out or whatever through that. Let alone having the extra worry with kind of texture of your hair. You don't want to come out of the game with a bowl patch or something, because not
Could that be the
prettiest.
reality?
Yeah, 100%. And I've kind of noticed that the more that I've played, but it's something that I always just try to be like, whatever. But now it's kind of more prominent to me.
When you had braids, did you ever have a braid fall out during the game? I did.
I haven't, but I know girls that in my school had braids fall out during the game, or like a braid pulled out. I had a bald spot from a braid.
That got yanked.
Yeah, I got yanked.
Yeah.
I had like a little, I think I still have it, like a little bald patch at the back. This was when I first started playing rugby, and I used to have like much longer, bigger braids. And then I shaved my hair, and that changed everything. But yeah, my braid fell out, and then I just like put it in my bra and kept running. It wasn't until
That is
afterwards.
a universal
It
experience.
wasn't until afterwards that I was like, oh God, I've got a bald patch. Oh, this is quite bad actually. I was just more embarrassed that someone find my braid on the floor. And then no, it was me, because I was the only one with braids on the
Oh God.
I was hoping it would have happened to you as well. Not the bald patch, but I hope that it'd be like a relatable experience.
No, not the braids. I did my braids tight. So they weren't.
I think I didn't understand what rugby was when I first joined, and I just kind of thought that, it's in the paint tough, it's fine.
Yeah,
I'm just running, it's cute.
You were running as a prop?
I was speed walking
Wow,
between
Anne.
phases and looking at rocks.
Twinkle toes.
Checking them out.
Checking them out, just making sure everyone's okay.
Just inspecting, you know.
Inspecting a rock, you know.
So the satin scrum cap is the solution. But you have said before that as a young girl, I used to wear plastic bags on my head to a rugby game.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I literally, and so in school, there'd be like a group of 15 of us, and 10 of us would have a plastic bag from like Sainsbury's or Tesco's on our hair to try and protect our hair. First of all, with the headscarf on first, and if it was raining, you had to have a plastic bag, because no way was your hair getting messy. And that was normal. Like, we'd go to games, and the girls on the other team would also have the same thing. And, you know, a lot of us in that area didn't watch rugby, had no clue what rugby was, had no clue what a scrum cap even was. So that was the next best solution, and I think I look great in it, to be honest. Orange was my colour, Sainsbury's.
Really goes with your
I definitely have a picture somewhere.
I need to see a picture.
I think I have like a slow-mo video of the bag like falling off. Someone's like tackling me.
Because I can imagine that's like the best way to, like, when I was young, I probably would have done the same
Yeah,
thing. So I'm
yeah.
laughing at you, but I'm like, I actually can't think of anything else that I would have used if I like when I was younger. And scrum caps aren't really designed to help your hair, really.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like a nice thing to have, but
Yeah.
like, it's not really made for protecting your hair.
Mm-hmm.
And that's and hence why the satin lining.
Yeah, sense design lining, like, you normally go to bed with like a satin headscarf, like a satin bonnet, which has kind of actually become very popular now. Just generally, people like to wear satin bonnets to bed just to keep their hair neat. But yeah, why not kind of combine those two and add a satin layer into a scrum cap, which I already wear to protect my hair, but like you said, it's not made to do that. So adding like a satin layer in it adds that kind of layer of it being more protective.
Wow.
And how far off is it?
So we've got the prototype done, which I've been wearing when I have been playing. So we just were trying to find the correct material, which we have now. So hopefully very soon there should be a few coming out.
Watch this space.
That's so
Watch this
exciting.
That's so cool.
She's a mogul. There's an entire empire
Have you got
loading.
it patented or whatever?
No.
Have to. Yeah. I'll steal it.
We'll have a conversation soon.
But this is you solving a problem that you have. But as you say, there is no such thing as a unique experience. A lot of the time, the things that we think I'm the only person battling with this is also a pathway to building greater connection with people on topics that they relate to.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I've had messages from like mums who have kids with curly hair who don't have curly hair, and they're like, I need to get this on my child. Like I think they'd love it. And even from, to hear that from someone who's like 10 who won't even have that problem growing up now, because hopefully this will be a thing, is huge. Like if I was 10, I could have that, it'd be amazing. So yeah.
And for some people, it's like it could be another potential barrier gone. You think like all the reasons, especially young girls, drop out of certain things as they're growing up. That could have been a huge one for somebody that hopefully now won't be there.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's like the WNBA player Aja Wilson. She was also at the time Woman of the Year. She designed a satin-lined hoodie that Nike brought out to replace her bonnet, because she said, my mom didn't want me to wear bonnets in the airport anymore. So we've designed this. And it's literally just about looking at the world from where you are and going, these are the pinch points that I'm identifying, and let's fix them.